All right. Hey, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's wait for a few more people to tune in and our speakers to join. And I'll get started with the 8th round of Web3 Social Club featuring our Gitcoin GR15 projects today, very soon. All right, just doing some pulling speakers up. And yeah, definitely feel free to share this on Twitter to get more people to pay attention to your projects. And then Gitcoin 15 is ending very soon tomorrow. So any last push will be fantastic. All right. Okay. Let's see. Do we have everyone? Let's see. Sachin from Maven is also here. Do you want to request a mic? All right, I'll leave it to my colleague Charlene, and also with me today is my co-host Linda. As the speakers trickle in, definitely let's pull them upstairs. No, I'm sorry, not upstairs, upstage. Yeah, and then also, if you do request a mic for Q&A later on, we're doing a small token gesture giveaway with 50 mask worth of incentive to encourage more participation. Okay, cool. Let's get started. So welcome to Web3 Social Club Round 8. This is a Twitter Space series hosted by Mask Network, where we invite projects and builders of the next generation social networks and infrastructure to share their insights. So I'm your host today, Hannah. I lead growth and Mask Network. For those that are tuning in from other channels, we're a social infrastructure project that bridges Web 2 and Web 3 to build an open internet, giving data ownership back to the users. We also do so through two products. One is a browser extension and mobile application that integrates Web3 dApps seamlessly on traditional social media like Twitter. And then number two, we are very excited to develop an open sourced DID protocol called Next.id for all self-governed digital identities, which aggregates Web 2 and Web 3 identity profiles for Web 3 protocols and dApps to build upon. But today it's not about Mask, it's really about Gitcoin. And as I mentioned before, tomorrow, Thursday, the Gitcoin round 15 will come to close. And just for general introduction, Gitcoin is a platform where coders and developers can get incentivized and compensated to work on open source softwares in a wide variety of programming languages. And projects can also submit their own projects to Gitcoin platform in order to get crowdsourced funding from contributing donors. So Gitcoin grants very uniquely use quadratic funding to allow more fair allocations of donation, where even a very small amount of donation, such as just like $1 worth of donation, could make a substantial impact. And your first dollar actually in this quadratic formula matters more than the later amount that you donate. So even a small amount matters so much. And today, if you go on gitcoin.co, the website, you will see the grants are allocated in many different areas and verticals. And Mask Network is one of the earlier, earlier recipient of Gitcoin grants, and now one of the largest donors on Gitcoin, is honored to be again the sole sponsor of GR15's Web3 social vertical. And so today with us, we have our friends from Gitcoin, Ben, and then I think Dove from Mask Network, and also some of the other grantees to share what they're building. And then so quickly, if you are interested in these projects, you want to support them, go to gitcoin.co to donate and make an impact. Without further ado, I would love to introduce our projects today and have them, share more deeply, like more in depth about what they're building. So I think I have first of all Ben from Gitcoin. Nice, good to have you here.
Hey, my pleasure to be here. Happy to be part of this. I'm so excited to hear about all these projects, and I'm also happy to just answer any questions and be a resource. If there's if there's anything I can do to be of service, let me know. Could do a backgrounder on Gitcoin, but I'm guessing everybody here is pretty aware of Gitcoin and what we do. So I don't want to take too much time from projects talking, but please let me know if I can be of service.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. I would love to also hear from you later, like kind of the different trends and projects that you see on GR15. Next up, we have, let's see, I stove here. Okay, so next up we have Dave from Nimi Network.
Yeah, hi everyone. Very happy to be here. Do we have like should I give like an overview of Nimi, or do we have like?
We can do it later. Yeah, I'll just do a quick rapid intro to let people know where who's here. And then we can delve in deeper later. Yeah, cool. And next up we have Sanchi from Maven Foundation. Sanchi, I do see you in the audience seat. If you can request a mic later on, that would be great. And we also have Anna, the founder of B4B.world. Okay, I think a bunch of people are trying to request a mic right now. And we also have Stefan from Metopia.
Hello everyone, thanks for having me. It is 11:11 all the way from Sydney, Australia. So thanks for having me.
Wow, it's getting pretty late. Thank you for hopping on so late at the night. And then we have Sai from Algorand name service. And John from GiroGiro AI. If you're here, feel free to just say hi to everyone. And Ned from Spot Wallet.
Yeah, hi everyone. Very happy to be here as well. Here in Paris, not too late. Super happy to be here.
Great to have you here, Ned. And then we have Primal Void from Feed.xyz.
Super happy to be on the call. How you guys doing?
Great. Love the energy, Prima. And Luke from Web3 MQ, also an old friend of Web3 Social Club.
Hey guys. I'm in Beijing, so not very late. Glad to be here. Yep.
Awesome. And I think I also see Shill.me is also here with us. Would you like to request a mic and also, introduce yourself? Yeah. If I'm missing anyone or people had a connection issue, feel free to just like unmute, say hi, and then we can dive into more in depth what you're building right now and how we can help. Okay, seems like I've done a good job roll calling everyone. Great. All right, so let's start with project intro. Maybe we can start with Metopia.
Yeah, great. Well, first things first, thanks for having me. So if you guys haven't heard of Metopia, it is essentially a community management tool that is really looking to implement a reputation system in terms of governance, right? So we see problems with token governance at the moment where, it's kind of flawed, where we have a lot of whales or, other people that are able to, sway the vote. We're also trying to solve the problem of super low participation rates right now when it comes to DAO proposals. So we're implementing a reputation system where we aggregate data from a multitude of platforms and actually, I guess, create a reputation for the users. So that can come in the form of like soulbound tokens, POAPs, and even Discord roles. So yeah, that's essentially us in a nutshell, and happy to speak more on the project.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, as Stephen, right? Yeah, for the intro. Next up, whoever wants to go next, feel free to just unmute. Yeah. Maybe Ned from Spot Wallet or Luke.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, Spot Wallet is a mobile first non-custodial wallet on iOS and Android. We also have an extension, very unique kind of Chrome extension, in the sense that it doesn't store any key. Happy to speak about that later on as well. And yeah, we I guess the main differentiator here, for those of you who have a bunch of different wallets, that we focused on the beginning on working on the multi-chain tech stack, and using the physical chipsets on the phone to have like hardware-like security. So pretty much what a ledger does with a hardware device, we try to do that with smartphones. And yeah, right now we support Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tezos, Solana, and we are launching with Polygon support this week.
Yeah, thank you, Nat, for the intro. And I love Spot's like overall design and the agility there. Yeah, and yeah. Next up, we have maybe Luke. You can share more about Web3MQ.
Yeah, hey guys. So Web3MQ, what we're building right now is this decentralized and federated / community-owned layer of node networks that make social messaging and just machine-to-machine messaging and communications possible across Web3. So yeah, across applications, across users, for social or application use cases. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And whoever wants to go next can feel free to me. But yeah, can also call on people maybe from B4B world.
Yeah. Hi. Hi everyone. I'm Anna from B4B. B4B is an influencer marketing platform with reputation-based rewards. What it's mean? Influencers make payable ads campaigns and earn rewards proportionally to their reputation. And also, all influencers will grow on-chain their portfolios and statistic for easy ad collaborations. Also, we make a platform for the Web3 companies who won't make ad campaigns with influencers, and allow Web3 companies use the influencer ad channel without risk of losing their budget. Also, we save time them for searching for active and advertising-ready influencers. And B4B platform also allow Web3 companies book the ad campaigns fast on the right dates. So, and my goal of B4B is to build a decentralized global platform for influencer and brands ads collaborations. So, I think it's all.
Yeah, thank you for the overview. Great. And next up, I see Henry from Shill.me.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I had some technical issues earlier, so I couldn't introduce myself. But I'm Henry.
Yeah.
I'm working on Shill.me, and Shill.me, we're building a display platform for NFTs with social and marketplace features. We think the combination of elegant, customizable, and simple display of NFTs combined with social features and transactions is a really powerful combination of three features. And so, yeah, that's what we're doing. We started about half a year ago, and backed by OpenSea amongst a few others. And yeah, that's us.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Henry, for the introduction of Shill.me. Also, you played around the product, and it's very fun. Great. And then next up, we have, let's see, from Dave from Nimi.
Sure. Well, I'm working on Nimi, which is like your Web3 profile page. And we kind of came up with Nimi at the ETH Amsterdam hackathon, seeing how much people love their ENS domain, but a lot of people actually don't host any content on their ENS domain. So we built like a little project, which kind of evolved in Nimi over time, which in its current stage is like a link in bio. So if you click on my profile, in my link in bio, you can get like, see my Nimi page, see what it looks like. And the idea is to be like a Web3 social aggregator where we can aggregate all different social apps, and the user can actually own their profile page and host it on their own ENS domain. And yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell what we're working on.
Great. Yeah, a lot of, I think, profiles stuff and something like an emerging trend we're seeing a lot of products building around. Thank you, Dave. Next up, we have, is that a clapping sound that I just hear? Okay, next up we have Sai from Algorand naming service. Let's see here. Okay, just want to make sure I see can pull the speakers up. Okay, if Sai is having trouble connecting, we John from GiroGiro.
Yeah, hey guys, excited to be here. We're GiroGiro.ai, and we're building this AI infrastructure for Web3, providing AI solutions around content and social interactions for GameFi and Metaverse to enrich the diversity of placings and user experiences. We're also simultaneously establishing an on-chain AI identity for each NFT, which will endow the NFT with specific AI interactive and AI GC models. Yeah, so I guess in short, we work around with a lot of AI related stuff, helping to add more utilities to NFTs and playabilities for Metaverse and GameFi projects. Yeah, excited to be here.
Great to have you, John. Yeah, and definitely seeing a lot of different kind of. All right, okay. So this is Hannah. I'm speaking from this account because just the whole VPN, Twitter Space technical glitches. So hopefully in GR16 we do see people trying to figure out a better way for Web3 native projects to talk to each other on more stable platforms. All right, so I'm gonna pull all the speakers up. So I think we, as we were.
Hey everyone, just testing my connection. Is everything all good with my speech?
Good. Great. Yes.
Sweet, thank you.
All right.
Maybe everybody should send out the new link from their profile, pull your friends back in.
Yeah. Feel free to share this. Okay. I gotta say, hosting this Twitter space closest I've been to like feeling like I'm a radio show host / like coordinator, everything all in one. Cool. We'll just give everyone like maybe another 30 seconds to hop back in. I'll share the link on my social as well.
Well, you're killing it. Keep it up.
Thanks. Yeah. And then do I see Linda here?
Also, is anyone going to be in Singapore next week for Token 2049?
Yes, I will be going to Singapore as well.
Okay, cool. Let's link up. I'll hit you up in the chat afterwards.
Yeah, let's connect on Telegram. Yes, I will be going to Singapore as well.
Are there any quarantine restrictions with there right now, or can you pop in pretty quick?
It's pretty chill. I think you just need to present your vaccine passes and everything. So it's pretty chill now.
The rest of the world.
Yep. So it's also like I just came from Shanghai to Boston recently, and then yeah, things are really back to normal. But it takes a while to get used to seeing so many people in real life. All right, I think we have a lot of folks coming back on. We were a little bit interrupted when we were doing the project introduction. I think I still have Feed.xyz left to introduce. So Primal, if you're here, yeah, could you share a bit more about Feed.xyz? Prima, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So, just grabbing a beer from a fridge, not gonna lie. Really glad to be here. Coming on behalf of Feeds.xyz, and we are a decentralized content platform that's looking to, well, to put it in a nutshell, we're trying to fill the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. I think everybody on this call has a pretty good understanding of the fact that most Web 3 applications are built off of open blockchain systems, and most people don't want to make absolutely everything they do on the internet public. So we're looking to try and fill that gap by creating a single platform where people are able to create an anonymized token that tracks their history, that is completely encrypted and unable to be viewed in the same way that any private key from any crypto wallet address would be handled. And to decrypt sections of that, you're able to create other zero-proof knowledge keys that allow people to view your history, including advertisers, where you can get benefits for advertising your products back to yourself through our own token and through direct cryptocurrency funding, and basically allow what you want to share to who you want to share it to, our platform as well, to allow us to deliver ads to you. But I'll get back into this a little bit later. If you don't want to share any data, you can still create a portfolio and platform and profile, and then from that take that into to being able to allow us to deliver ads based off of the content that you're viewing off of the content's own history. So really imbuing the Web3 with the Web2 algorithms that make social media and surfing the internet as convenient and useful and formidable as it is today, while allowing you to control your data for once. So that's us in a nutshell. Happy to talk more.
Yeah, thank you, Prima. And in case I forgot anyone, or like, yeah, with the shuffling, if you haven't introduced your project, feel free to just unmute and share what you are building.
Sure,
Hey.
Slobo. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Four.
Hey guys, I'm Four from Join3. So Join3 is a tool that focused on collaboration and social in the community. In Web3, we believe that community is one of the important parts. It is a public space where people meet, make friends, exchange information, and do something together. So in this decentralized society, collaboration will be the primary form of relationship. So Join3 is a tool that recording the contribution and collaboration happen in a community by different types of SBTs. And eventually, we hope that Join3 will become a public space like a Web3 Square. All the DAO contributors or builders are welcomed, and their work will also be recorded by SBTs. We are looking forward to build more with you guys. So if you are interested in this new definition of social, please join us and let's collaborate together. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have Slobo from NftyChat.
Hey, it's Slobo.eth here. Happy to be here. Thanks for the space. That is a Discord replacement that's Web3 native, because Discord does not serve the crypto community well, and that's our goal. The value prop is you don't get to create your username. You bring your own through ENS, which is the Ethereum name service, of which I'm also a steward. So with that out of the way, thank you. And I love all the projects on stage.
Thank you. And then let's see, do you go by Alex and Slobo.eth?
I go by Slobo, but like
Slobo? Okay.
Alex. Yeah.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Sounds good. Okay, thank you, Slobo. And we see Attic is also here.
Hi, thank you. I'm Jason, the co-founder from Attic. Attic is a Web3 native. In simple terms, it's a decentralized Twitter for NFT communities. And every community on Attic is linked to an NFT contract. And so if you already own an NFT, then you can activate your community on Attic. Or if you don't yet have an NFT, you can launch an NFT collection for minting on Attic. And it's the simplest and lowest cost place for you to launch an NFT collection for minting. And once that's activated or created, you get to access a range of Web3 native tools to help with managing your community. For example, we also have an AI moderator who can talk and engage with your community. And also, there's also peer-to-peer trading functionality on the platform. So when you're browsing someone's profile and you see an NFT you're interested in, you can initiate a trading request directly on Attic. Our early beta will be ready by early October, and we'll be looking for some NFT communities to try it out and give us some feedback. So we'll be providing invitation codes in early October. So if you're interested, please reach out. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Attic.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, who is speaking? I'm trying to figure.
Sachin from Maven Foundation.
Okay, okay. Hi, Sachin. Yeah.
Hi. Can I start?
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. At Maven Foundation, we are creating a Web3 ecosystem for creators where creator can launch, engage, and connect their communities. So we are coming with multiple products. The first one is a Maven exchange where any creator can launch his token as well as they can trade their tokens with their diehard fans. Okay. The second platform we are coming is known as Maven House. It's a place where creator can sell tickets of their physical and virtual events, and and as well as they can host their live streaming platforms over that. So we are working on that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sanjay, for the overview. All right. Am I missing anyone from the project side? If not, we can dive into. I have so many questions. All right. So to get started, this is like we have a lot of Web3 social builders here at today's space. So I'm just curious, like for this particular like GR15, what are some of the core values and features you think can really deliver to users to onboard more people to Web3 social? What are the things technology-wise, feature-wise that you're personally excited about and your project is focusing on for that kind of a more massive adoption? And yeah, just feel free to unmute and speak up.
All right, I'll jump right in. I think the most thing that I'm excited about is it's bringing your own identity and relying on ENS for your identity management. I think that's the key cornerstone for all like Web3 social projects or some kind of decentralized identity, because that's the only way that we bring the power back to the user. So that's the thing that got me into Web3. That's the thing that I'm most excited about, and I love to hear how many different companies integrate to it. For example, Dave from NIMI relies on ENS, and seeing multiple projects build on top of that creates really positive network effects.
I agree with Slobo on owning your identity on Web3 social platforms. And also further, the decentralized social graphs are quite interesting as well. Like whether you're building on Lens Protocol or CyberConnect, the social relationships you create on one platform can be brought into any other apps as long as they're built with the same decentralized social graph. I think that provides a lot of value to users where they cannot get from Web2 alternatives.
I guess I'll go next.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in terms of what we're doing at Metopia, we really want to give a voice to people that don't necessarily have the most tokens in the space, right? And that comes in terms of like attendance and more things. So it's not only on-chain credentials that community should care about; it should be the off-chain activities as well. How to quantify that's a different topic. But yeah, we're essentially just want to give more voting power because the barrier to entry is actually quite high right now in terms of like participation and DAOs and stuff, because it's quite tech related, right? So we want to give other people a chance when it comes to that. So that's, I guess, in a nutshell what we're trying to do. And yeah.
Yeah, I can go next. So for Shield.me, I think our that and social NFTs specifically, those three pillars are display, community, and marketplace. And we don't think that there's a product out there that has really successfully unioned the three pillars, and so we're trying to be the first one to do that. We have the display platform; it's already up. If you go to shield.me, you can create your room, customize your design, your backgrounds, your frames. So now we're pushing out more social features, a profile panel, for example, and then we're also soon coming out with marketplace as well, integrating with OpenSea's SDK and potentially Magic Eden or Hyperspace for Solana NFTs. But yeah, our goal is to provide a place where people can show off their items, show off, and by doing so, also showing off their sort of Web3 identity through the assets that they own. Be able to contact other people on the platform via on-app, off-chain messaging, and then being able to transact.
Yeah, and I'm hearing a lot of just like kind of Web2, Web3 connect, and just like more seamless kind of identity and just experience, integrated experience as a common thread from a lot of the projects. Anyone else wants to share on this topic in terms of what are the key features, technologies you think could really push forward Web3 social?
Well, at the end of the day, I guess I'll jump in next. It's Primal Void here. I guess at the end of the day, we've got, roughly just shy of 1 billion people in the world interested in and already bought in some way, shape, or form to cryptocurrency. But there's, another 5 billion past that are heavily on the internet already that can benefit from ease of experience and access to information. And a couple of the things that are a big issue that we see coming is just the simple fact of this surveillance capitalism that is defining how we dictate things. And what I'm really excited about is to see how anonymity, which is a big part of why everybody got into blockchain, if not for control of your own currencies and control of your own assets, but also from the idea of being able to enter a space and become a profile and exist as that profile and be able to be just that. All of that is stymied by the fact that everything we do is in some way tracked, even through VPNs. They're not that secure. So it's not having a Tor level network, but it's having the ability to have control over who has access to those records. So from our project, we're excited to see everybody being very much personality and profile focused. But what we really think is the next step is giving people the ability to control how their data is handled. And I think that everybody keeping an eye on that is going to be the next decade of information handling. Also in being able to control your own content when you post by being able to put it on Web3. Those are incredibly significant, particularly in countries where censorship is, a serious issue. So, and everywhere where self-censoring is becoming more of a thing. So yeah, I think anonymity and being able to control data is really the big wave that's coming next.
That's great. I agree. I think control of your data is so important. I think the challenge for all of us builders is how do you provide a superior UX to what Web2 does? And as much as we kind of like to make fun of the Google and the Facebook and the Twitter for rugging spaces, for example, they do build amazing products. And ultimately for social to take off in the Web3, we have to kind of level up our game. So I think that's the other key feature that all of us need to do, that what I'm focused at NftyChat on doing is make sure that we have a good user experience, because in the end, as important as those philosophical things are, we need to make sure it's practical and easy to use.
Totally. Could not agree more, Slobo. I think one of the biggest issues with that is just the sheer fact of most of the capital that's flowing in to token systems and cryptocurrencies right now and DApp projects are around asset control. So I think thinking how Google and Facebook thought a decade ago still hasn't fully percolated down into the general developer kind of consciousness, because at the end of the day, the real two capitals that exist, and I hear a lot of community-based projects here, are attention and data. So the real capital that flows into these from the real world through advertisers is how they're able to mitigate the differential between the two of those by capitalizing and making attention-grabbing content as pervasive as it can be and as addictive, and at the same point capitalizing and just basically becoming a black hole for data, and then aggregating and delivering that and controlling and owning that. I mean, everybody here probably has heard of, if not read, the social media agreements where you give control and ownership of all of your assets, including personal photos. And as much as I enjoy owning NFTs like this PFP I have on my Twitter, I'm far more attached to the photos of my family and friends and the social media that I control those on. Meanwhile, I don't technically own those once I post them. They take control of them. So as much as we want control of capital and finances, and how that's been really the break wall that has come through for cryptocurrencies and for blockchain in general, I think the next step is being able to own not just our profiles and identities, but our actions through those on the web. And like you said, being able to make those seamless comes from, I think, a lot of capital and a lot of brain power going into how they engineer their systems. And really, there's just a lot of competition and not a lot of collaboration in that direction. So I think open source is going to be a really big and interesting subsection of the development for blockchain. Foundations are coming up in dApps everywhere, where people are very happy to make protocols public or at least leverageable through their cryptocurrencies. So I think as a collective, we have a very big potential to be able to beat out these conglomerates that basically own everything we do.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I do believe in the long term Web3 just eats Web2 because it is a superior technology and model, but it's just going to be a very painful ride to get there. But I think the other thing that we all have going for us is that I've never heard my Web2 friends talk. Sorry about the noise in the background. I've never heard my Web2 friends talk about their jobs or what they're building with as much excitement as literally an average person in Web3. The average person in Web3 is almost fanatical, where the average person in Web2 is barely, I don't want to say barely alive, but just barely present. So anyways, I'm gonna actually hop off. I think there's some people waiting to speak, so I'll hop down to make sure there's room.
Totally.
Great, thank you guys for those answers. I'll be taking over. My next question is, especially given this bear market, I'd love to know what got you guys into Web3 social. why you picked this field, and I guess what's kind of like the biggest challenges you've seen so far, and how do you plan to make your project sustainable?
Can I go next?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I am Rupin from Pink Paper. So we are building a decentralized publishing platform. So like what we are doing is like providing a censorship free publishing platform where anybody can come and express their views. So you asked about the sustainability, how we wanna make our platform sustainable. So in the initial phase, development phase, when we are developing, we will be like providing the 100% of the tipping and donations that people will be having from our platform. Going forward, right, we will introduce a small fees like a percentage, so that we get certain amount, so that we can keep on continuing and building our platform. Once we do that, apart from that, we are also planning to like have creator program partnerships with companies, right, into web3 space, right. For example, a dex, for example, a uniswap wants to have like content around a content competition, right. So we can run that on our platform, right. People can come and write about how to use uniswap or like any other project, right. And on the similar basis they can get the bounties from the project, right. And we can get a certain amount from this foundation to like so that we can keep on running, because we start developing this. Reason behind the same is that I was working with the web3 education platform, right. So whenever we used to post anything on YouTube or any other platform, what happened was like YouTube was blocking our videos. So due to that, like we felt that we I need to create and and develop a platform where like anybody can come and like publish this thing to. Yeah, so this is the entire plan, how to make things sustain at our end.
Great. Thank you for that explanation of what you guys are currently doing. Does anyone else want to jump in on, kind of what got you into Web3? What are the biggest challenges that you're seeing, and how do you plan to sustain your project given this
Yeah,
market?
happy to take over here. I was trying to join on the previous question, I couldn't. So I think I agree with most of what has been said before. I think the most important stuff in Web3 is the ownership of data. So yeah, definitely. And so now to answer your second question, well, first I think Spot is we eventually being profitable. So I guess we don't have to solve this one. But in the bear market, eventually things get harder. But what got us there is we started as a wallet, so eventually there wasn't so many social use cases at the beginning, but eventually there's something that you can't accelerate is the time to market for a bunch of those use cases that have been mentioned before. And I think we are probably at a tipping point here in terms of like consumer adoption from a bunch of different stuff. Like a lot of the enablers were lacking before, like the right on ramps, off ramps, layer twos, and stuff like that. And yeah, I guess the biggest enablers was the NFT summer wave that kind of made that a lot of people onboarded with a true consumer use case, even though there was a lot of speculation there. So yeah, I think it's going to be that bear market is going to be super interesting in terms of a bunch of those new use cases that has been mentioned around social. I think we are at a tipping point for a bunch of them. Yeah, definitely happy to speak more about like centralized identity and stuff later on.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you finally um got was able to speak. Henry, do you want to
Cheers.
jump in here?
Yeah. So I was gonna say like, I don't know how other people are experiencing, the bear market right now, but Shield.me, we kind of started in about February, March of this year. And obviously, that's coming close to the end of the bull run. That was when we were raising, and then we closed our raise basically as the market was tanking. And so a lot of our growth after we grew the team, and after we built out more features, and more recently we were starting more marketing and growth efforts. We definitely feel that it's a bit harder, in this market than it probably was, but before May. Um, Definitely curious to hear what other people are experiencing. But that being said, I'm sure everyone here is pretty, long term bull on Web3 social. Of course, we are seeing like NFT trading volume is like really, pretty low. I think I saw that it's the volume for the month of August was lower than July or June of 2021. Um, so yeah, it's a challenge, but we're all at Chill.me, at least we're very bullish on the long term future. I think we're building for 2, 3, 4 years, and at least like that's what we're building for in terms of what we anticipate the bear market to be. But we're building for longer than that, right? 10, 20 years in the future. So um, yeah, I'm curious how other people are experiencing sort of growth acquisition, user acquisition, and growth.
Hi, I got into the space in 2017, but the idea for social media started later when NFTs became popular because I saw NFTs was a good way to bring more than just the financial aspect on chain, especially with the Soulbound tokens getting popular. I see NFTs and Soulbound tokens as methods of enriching the souls of Web3. So making decentralized identities meaning more and more. And then such decentralized identities will need a social application to support their activities on chain. A challenge I see is this is still a very small space. Like weekly average users are probably only just under 2 million. There are only less than 2 million active addresses on chain. That's a very small market still, although it's growing very fast. And outside of Web3, it's still largely misunderstood by the wider public. And I think it would be nice if every community can have some educational aspect to it to make the cake bigger. Sometimes it feels like there are more builders in this space than users. It's a very small space, but already very competitive. If we all can try to expand our influence, that would be great. But like, however, given the current atmosphere here, where it's very financially driven, and when there are so many scams, um, and so many terminology, it's so hard for someone who's new to crypto and Web3 to understand what's going on. And I can imagine if I just got into the space recently with all the things happening, like Luna, like Wintermute getting hacked with all these news, it'd be so hard for someone from Web2 to appreciate what Web3 can bring us.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely hard for someone who doesn't really know much about the technology to join Web3, especially given how the media portrays Web3. All right. So my next question is, um, all projects are all projects on Gitcoin are open source. How long have you been involved in the open source community? Why do you think they're important to the project's growth, and how do you onboard the devs to get them interested and keep them motivated to constantly contribute to your project?
Can I go next?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So regarding the open source of the nature, right? And I believe in Web3 the ethos are the same, right? We help each other, and at the same time, like have the transparency, and keeping it open source, right? Help further development, right? So regarding that part, we believe open source and transparency are one of the key pillars, right? To take the space to the next level, right? And now how we're going to do it, right, at our platform, right? What we are doing is uh, keeping education as the key element, right? So that we are bringing creators, right, who will be writing up things, because somebody was discussing here how the lack of knowledge and education is there into the space, right? But exact, so nobody no, a single person, a nominal person who is not from the Web3 background won't understand the tech part, right? So we need to provide the education about the open source aspect of the things as well, right? And regarding the how we motivate the devs at our platform is we are continuously looking at the increased attacks, right? You are seeing news from the Facebook and Google, continuously scrutinizing the content, right? It's totally fine, right? They are doing it, but at the same time it is curtailing the free voice, right? How a platform is deciding who can speak on the platform, who cannot, right? It should be a free platform, open source, right? And anybody can come, right, have their opinions. Obviously you'll have the right to agree or disagree with them, right? So what we are doing is we are not creating, so anybody can come and publish the article onto that without creating a fee, or they need to pay. So we are we are targeting web to native people by introducing this, we are using this web3 authentication, because if we're installing metamask and all these things, right, it is very easy to start login and start publishing. It's a very easy two step, right? So that's how we feel we are motivating our devs and keep the ethos of open source. That is the key pillar of web3 and crypto and blockchain space in general.
Awesome. Thank you for your answer. Does anyone else want to jump in?
Yeah, I think the open source aspect for all the projects is like the foremost crucial thing, because being open source helps the project to become a protocol layer. Like using an Arweave as an example, with Arweave doing smart weave in the beginning, it's really the open source layer that helps to attract the other builders to build the later functionalities for Arweave, so that Arweave could eventually become the protocol layer. So having the open source criteria on Gitcoin is, I believe, one of the foremost thing to onboard devs. Yeah.
Thank you. Metopia, did you want to say something? Metopia? All right. I guess we'll jump right into the next question. What is the thesis or logic here you think will make the early birds in this space succeed? And what do you see for Web3 social going forward in the near future?
So, regarding the how we can make sure that we get the traction on Web3 platforms that are focused into social niche, right? So we need to remove the friction, right? For example, if we are asking people to pay the gas, right, or make a transaction to post something on the platform, right, it won't make sense in the very beginning, right? Because if you want to attract for example 50,000 people, 60,000 people onto the platform, this is something that you cannot ask for, right? Obviously we are putting into authentication tools, they can log in through metamask, right, and wallet connect, right? But at the same time, if we are asking them to pay for posting and something like that, it won't make sense in the very beginning. So these are the fundamental things we need to we can talk about web3, or sorry, big tech is curtailing the freedom of speech or something like that, but at the same time we need to appreciate the ease of using their platforms, right? So you don't need to pay something or make transaction the very beginning, right? Obviously going forward you can introduce these things, but at the same time at the very starting level, I believe ease of use should be there so that we can remove the friction from the platform.
I agree with that. it's definitely important that we remove any unnecessary frictions. Anyone else?
I also agree with that. I think so far with the Web3 applications, people have not put enough thought into the user experience. So a lot of the apps, like I've been in the space for quite a while, but I still find a lot of the DeFi apps very confusing and hard to use. And like for to be successful, I think like to prepare for the next bull market where more people will join the space, like user experience will be very important. And that's for projects. And also from the individual influencers perspective on Web3 social, I think just by being early, you have a really big advantage. Even in Web2, if you were one of the first to start using Instagram or TikTok, and start creating content on there early, you get a huge advantage because in the early days, there's not a lot of people on there, and your content is very easy to be seen by whoever joins the platform. And in those early days, you can accumulate your crowd much more easily. So by being early, you can be successful. With Web3, that's even more enhanced. With airdrops, you can, if you start joining a platform early and start creating content there, the platform will, when they launch a token, they will most likely be airdropping you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. Ben, I would love to, I'd love if you could share what you see from Gitcoin side and how you guys uncover user insights.
That's a great question. And first of all, I just want to say how excited I am by all the projects I just learned about. You know, I spend a lot of my time sort of in my corner of Gitcoin, and it's always such a gift to sort of hear about what people are doing in some of the rounds that I'm less personally involved in day to day. You know, at a individual level could not be more concerned about the current state of our social media, and I'm so just excited about what's growing in the Web3 space. And I have to say this, I don't know if this is just about y'all as a group or this time of day for a Twitter space, but this was like one of the more organized and like orderly Twitter spaces I've been part of. I love it. Everybody's like very efficient with their time and like great at talking about their projects. Kudos to all of you. In terms of your question of how we surface insights, honestly, that's a work in progress. Every round we've kind of taken incremental steps towards integrating more tools. There's a wealth of information, of course, just given all the blockchain data and some related social data. You may have seen some of Kevin Iwaki's data visualizations of kind of what the network looks like at that sort of 10,000 foot view using some interesting Python scripts. We're just kind of digging deeper into, all the things that we can do with those analytics. Just in terms of, lessons learned of what's working, what isn't, how to sort of optimize the platform in any number of ways. And I wanted to add my, personal kind of excitement around what is possible with these tools in the world of the Gitcoin grants protocol, this kind of 2.0 version of the grants platform. For anybody who doesn't know, the Gitcoin grants platform is in the midst of becoming a fully forkable, fully decentralized open source platform itself. It has been built open source since the very beginning, but it's a 4-year-old product now, and a few different folks who are data analysts, or have experience with data analysis involved in our team. I think we're really just scratching the surface of what's possible with all the information that is related to how people use our platform, how community members interact with each other, the new collaborations and coordination that come as a result of these rounds. That's definitely been one of the interesting things for me, kind of round over round, is just seeing the cross-pollination that happens in an open source space, as people find ways to make use of the interoperability and composability of these tools and find common ground, or find the developer they're always looking for, new friends or whatever it might be, funders. I think that's kind of the secret sauce of these grants rounds. As much as I've got a friend Pranav who says people come to Gitcoin for the funding, but they stick around for the community, and I think that really is true. And I would love to have more data to illustrate sort of what that looks like. For me, a lot of it has honestly just been talking to people. I'm responsible for the cause rounds and try to talk to every single grantee in the rounds. And end up talking to a lot of the donors and pretty much all of the matching fund partners. And it's really just through hearing the stories that we learn. And I think what I was just about to start saying when we got rugged the second time there was I'm really excited about what the projects in the Web3 social space could contribute to the new Gitcoin grants platform. As we become a fully decentralized forkable version of this platform. I could imagine all kinds of plugins and tools that could integrate, Web3 social, directly into the platform. So like one idea I've heard people talk about that's kind of Web 2, but ties into where we are right now on the space together. Is this idea that you could have a Twitter space and that could pop up directly in like a feed on your grants page, but I think that's just scratching the surface again of really what's possible. Like when we hear about all the different projects that people are working on and the different pieces of core infrastructure, I think a lot of that could tie directly into our passport, our identity verification, our verification of impact that happens in between rounds, the updating, the reporting. I think there's a really exciting potential for what we could do together as a community, sort of building on top of these tools and finding ways to sort of make them increasingly useful, transparent, and really just kind of experimenting with what's possible. So anyway, I kind of answered your question and then went off on a whole other direction, but yeah, I'm just thrilled to be here with all of you. And if anybody has any questions about the grants round or about what's going on, happy to try to answer them. And yeah, just thrilled to have a chance to sort of jump in and kind of dig deeper into this community.
Thanks, Ben. I'm curious to know, for the last Gitcoin round, I know many projects found it amazing to be able to meet people and make friends. I'm wondering what everyone else's experience has been like, and if there's anything interesting that you would want to share to the audience.
Hey, yeah, sure. So in terms of Metopia, this is obviously our first time participating in something like this, but I guess the beauty of Web3 is we're all trying to build together, right? And we're all super supportive. So, like over the past couple of days, we've been also organizing spaces for projects that, we love. And I just want to say a huge thanks to you guys for organizing this and, shining the light on projects like ourselves and yeah, really appreciate it. So, yeah, thanks for that.
Awesome. Thanks, Metopia. Does anyone else want to add to that? Oh, come on. You guys are having fun.
We are. It's been a blast. In general, I wanted to kind of put a question out there to everybody else, actually, not to take it off to derail the direction, but when it comes to social, what do you think the most important components are that general users are interested in? Like what is really motivating traction and engagement on these platforms? I'm just eager to hear that from other people building in this space.
I think like Web 2 may be a little different to Web 3 in this context. Like within Web 2 social medias, the evolution has been around the medium. So with desktop computers, we got Facebook, MySpace. With mobile, we've got Instagram. And then with 4G, 5G, we got TikTok, the short video form content, which couldn't have been done before, but with 5G, it's very smooth. So within Web 2, the content has been evolving, and the evolution of apps has been mostly driven by the faster connection speeds of the internet and the form of the medium, like from desktop computers to mobile phones. And then with the short video form, maybe the ultimate form of content because it stimulates your brain in such a blunt way. You just release dopamine so much that you cannot leave TikTok, and you always want to go back to it. But within Web 2, like TikTok, a short video form, maybe it may stay for a while now because it's really hard to compete against that. But within Web 3, I think there could be some unique products that coming out that cater to what people need in Web 3. Well, that's our angle, like by providing tools that NFT communities will need to use. We hope to attract NFT communities and projects so they come for using the tools first and then gradually leaving their content there and create communities and create social connections. But there, I think like many people have many creative ideas. Something that goes viral in Web 3 may be very different from what's popular in Web 2.
I completely agree with what Alex said, and I think also, just to add on to that, I think it's also like the fact that in Web3 we can also be not only participants and the end consumer, but we can also be collaborators and builders in the space as well, right? So we have platforms like Facebook and Instagram where it's more of like a top-down approach where we're the end users, but the beauty of Web3 is that we can actually build together, and I think that's the beauty of DAOs at the moment, right? How anyone that kind of owns that membership token is able to have some sort of voice in that system, right? So I think in that sense, it's super revolutionary, and I guess what it comes down to is people just want to, have their own input and be able to influence decisions and not have the guys like Meta and Instagram and so on and so forth kind of dictating how we do things. You know what I mean?
Couldn't agree more. I'm interested. We've all talked about content and censorship a little bit, or ownership of content. What about where are the lines to which freedom of expression and things exist inside these social media platforms? I think censorship, everybody agrees with really heinous stuff, but then the lines get blurred and it gets turned into rugs on conversations for competitors like tonight. But where does that kind of develop out from? Where is that line going to be drawn in the Web3 space? Any thoughts? Because this is seriously a thing we've been contemplating and debating a lot inside our team.
I guess that's $1 million question that, like, even nowadays our politicians can't even solve that, right? So I think it's quite a subjective thing, right? It's like, do you draw the line at whether it's like a direct threat or something like that? But I couldn't tell you, but I don't know, props to anyone that can actually figure out a solution, right? There's such a fine line, and when it comes to arguments like this, there's such a slippery slope, right? Like we've seen guys like Agitate and all those guys get deplatformed, but in Web3, I don't know how you could do it differently. I don't know. That's a really good question.
Maybe the crowd source of opinion will come into it a bit if people continue to ignore or request to never see content again from this supplier. Maybe that turns into like a knock-on effect and the general public does. But then there's debates again about what this whole cancel culture is evolving out of and populist kind of incentives around it, or even targeted attack campaigns could be issues with that as well. So I think that's going to be one of the most interesting things to see evolve in Web3, because the more that Web2 becomes kind of authoritarian in its policing of content, particularly grotesque content, just opinionated or slightly offensive content. I think we're going to see Web3 kind of bubble up into the space where people that feel that they're being silenced by the stat quo move into. But one of my biggest concerns from that is, I came in, like we said about funding in places, into Web3 because of the finance and the potential for investment, but I stayed because the community and the fervence and energy behind what people believe in from this is so engaging. If it turned into something like 4chan, I think it would be dangerous, or at least sad. Not saying I'm not going to 4chan either, just 4chan had its place, but what that evolved into, was unfortunate with the Charlottetown riots and everything like that, and the alt-right. But yeah, anyway, thoughts.
All right. Before I wrap this up, since I work at Mass Network, I wanted to ask you guys if any of you have been planning to utilize our SDK or our NextID's SDK to build upon. The team behind Mask, I don't know if many of you know, has built NextID, and it fits in the Web3 social protocol landscape as an infrastructure that unites identity relationship graphs, serving as a universal ID, namely in the form of like an avatar. So if you guys would like to learn more, I have the docs. The link is in my bio. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out or, write us in our Telegram group chat as well. All right, thank you guys so much for joining. Ben, appreciate you offering your insights about Gitcoin and everyone who contributed as a speaker. We really appreciate you guys, and hope to host one of these soon. And apologies for the rug. Hope you all have a good day, good night, wherever you guys are. All right.
Great.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.